right, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the 2012 Argyle ISD Percussion Concert. My name is Michael Lemish. I'm the Director of Percussion here, Assistant Director of Bands. We're going to get started right away because we have a lot of music and we're going to try and get through it relatively quickly. One thing that's kind of an inherent issue with any percussion concert is there's a lot of equipment that's got to be moved around, so we'll try and make those things flow as well as we can. We're going to start right off with the beginners. There are sixth graders. They started back in August, having never played before. The piece they're going to play is something kind of interesting, something we've never done here before. It's called Almighty / Maddie is Awesome. And what happened with that, how we came up with that name, is back in December I had the students do a composition project, and they had to write a 16-measure snare drum solo. Then I held on to those, graded them. They all looked really, really good. I was really impressed with it. In January then, mid-January, I read through all of them, played them for the class, and they voted on the two that they liked the best. And we took those two and we made one big solo out of them. And then a friend of mine this past week has made musical accompaniments to kind of go with it for to play along with. So, this is Almighty / Maddie is Awesome, the world premiere, as a matter of fact, performed by the Argyle 6th grade beginning percussion class. All right, here we go. Come on, okay. to the white band. and 8th graders in the other group. We're going to play 2 pieces for you. The first one of those is called Four-Way Split. It's a little drum quartet that we're going to play up here at the front. One thing I will say while they're getting set up, this class is my smallest class. There's only 5 students total in this class, but they have more personality than any other class that I have. Yes. Yeah, these guys make me laugh all the time. If you know any of these kids, you'll know what I'm talking about. The first piece we're going to play, like I said, is Four-Way Split. You're going to see one person that looks way too big to be a 7th grader. That's me, because there's a track meet tonight, and Madison Ralston couldn't be here. So I'm going to play her part, and we'll go from there. So this is Four-Way Split. That's Josh. Ready, Josh? Awesome. All right, here we go. Four-Way Split. All right, next piece combines both drums and mallet playing. So you're going to play a lot of mallets on this one. This one's called Katie's Bossa. All right, real quickly, while they're setting up, I want to brag on these guys just a little bit. This past fall, we had region band auditions for both middle school and high school. Both groups did really, really well. In the middle school, we had 10 students audition. 8 of those 10 made it in the top 10 places, including we had the first 5 slots were all students from Argyle. So out of the 8 region band slots, we had 6 of those positions plus the 2 alternates after that. So, real quick, let's see. While you guys are setting up, really quickly, if you made the region band, raise your hand. Or if you're an alternate for region band. That covers everybody in this group, with the exception of one, which is Tyler, because he just moved in a couple weeks ago. He wasn't in Argyle at the time. But yeah, everybody in this group, and Gentry, where's Gentry at? Gentry right there, you stand up, Gentry? Gentry and the white band made the region band as well, so I'm really, really proud of you guys. This next piece is called Shock Factor. It's something we haven't really done before, which is a piece that has some vocalizations in it, has some mouth stuff, has lots of loud drums. This is not the typical piece that you would see a middle school group play. This is really hard, which you won't necessarily know just from watching them play because they make it look pretty easy. But this is called Shock Factor by Nathan Daughtry. All right, this next piece is called Ballet. It's a WC piano piece that's been arranged for percussion. This one takes a lot of maturity to play. This has been really tough. The years that I've done this, I think 4 times, twice with the high school. This is my second time doing it with the middle school. And it's really, really a challenge. There's some transitions, and there's one section in particular that's really, really tough. These guys have worked really hard, and they play, I think the best we've ever played it is this group's rendition of it. So this is Ballet by Debussy, arranged by E.J. Beck. next piece we're going to play is called Layers. This one is really tough. We've spent a lot more time on this ensemble probably than any other ensemble you're going to see tonight. It's just really, really hard. I didn't realize how hard it was when I picked this one. But there's, just like it says, there's lots of layers. So people are playing a certain part, and there's totally different parts, and all these different things happening, and they all have to line up perfectly together, which has really been a challenge to put together. These guys have done a really good job of working hard and pushing through and getting to the product that I think you're going to see tonight, which is played pretty well. While they're finishing setting up, let me talk real quick about camps this summer. There's 3 camps that I highly recommend. One for 7th and 8th graders, current 6th graders, current 7th graders, is the Ken and Wiley camp is what it's called. It's really the North Texas Percussion Camp. It's held over at Marcus High School. I'll be sending an email out with information about that. But it is June 19th to the 21st. Like I said, it's over at Marcus. It's a really good camp. All the guys that they bring out to teach are top-notch percussion educators. I have a lot of respect for all those guys. So I really highly recommend that camp. For current 8th graders through 11th graders, there's the UNT Drumline Camp. I really recommend that one as well. That's a good one for anybody who is currently going to be on a drum this fall, whether it's a snare drum, quads, or bass drum. They can go to that camp, or anybody who wants to go to those instruments eventually. It's a great camp for them as well. You don't have to be on that instrument in the fall to go. So if you have aspirations of playing snare drum, you can take a drum and you can go play at that camp and learn everything you need to know about playing snare drum. That camp is, June 11th through the 14th. And it takes place up at North Texas. The last camp then is a marimba camp. You're going to see, I don't think in this ensemble you don't, yes you do. Homer is going to play with 4 mallets, and I think the vibes do also. You're going to see some 4 mallet stuff. The main technique that we use here is called the Lee Stevens technique. Lee Howard Stevens does a marimba camp over in Plano in the summer, and that's a really great camp for anybody who's going to pretty much be in high school through even people that are graduating this year, seniors for this year. So that camp's taking place over in Plano. I will send out information to all the parents through Charms about each of those camps so you guys will know what's going on with that. Looks like we're about ready. All right, this is Layers by Newton Classic. So while they're doing that, I'm going to talk a little bit about a solo contest that's coming up May 3rd. All the students here have their solos now. Sixth graders, we started working on their snare drum solos the other day. They have a mallet solo also. And then everybody in 7th through 12th grade has 2 solos this year. They have what we're calling our primary and then our secondary solos also. They chose which one they wanted to do, either a snare drum or a mallet solo. So if they chose to do a snare drum solo, then they have a secondary, a really easy solo just on mallets, just to still get them playing that. But their primary solo is their main one they're going to spend the most time on. They had a project due today where they broke it into chunks, and that's to help them keep organized, and they'll have tests every week starting the week after spring break. They'll have tests every week over a different chunk of each of their solos. So that'll be coming up. And that's something that they'll need to make sure, please hold them accountable for practicing consistently. It's really important that they do that. The judges that I'm bringing in for that contest are top-notch. The 2 guys that I respect, they're at the top of the list of percussion educators, in my opinion. One is Mr. Jeff Osborne. He is over at Argyle Heritage High School. They've won the PASIC National Drumline Championship twice. And the other one is Ken Wiley from Marcus High School. I mentioned his name earlier from the middle school percussion camp. Marcus has won, I believe, now they're at 10 or 11 National Drumline Championships. Yeah, any year that Marcus, Colleyville, or Flower Mound High School have competed, they brought the national championship back to Texas. So that's since the 90s, something, or the 90s when Marcus started winning all those. This next piece has been one of my favorite pieces for a long time. I like big, loud drumming things. That's what got me excited about drums. This piece is called the Doomsday Machine. The Doomsday Machine was written by Michael Brick, and he wrote this piece around an episode of Star Trek. He's a big Star Trek fan. And the Doomsday Machine is a big machine, a big weapon that is capable of destroying planets, destroying anything, basically. But fortunately, Captain Kirk comes along, discovers the Doomsday Machine, and they fly a starship into it that was set to self-destruct, and they blow the Doomsday Machine up. So this piece, you're going to see it's just a quartet. It's only 4 people playing on it, but they use a lot more equipment than probably all the other pieces combined. There are lots of drums. There's brake drums off cars. There's 4 of them right here in front of Michael. Got those for Denton Auto Salvage. They've got tin cans. You'll see there's some baked bean cans over there, all sorts of stuff. But anyway, there's tons and tons of equipment on this one. One of my favorite things about this piece is that I don't have anything to do with this one. These guys learned this all on their own. I think I heard from my office a couple of times, but I went out and actually listened to them play all the way through it once, gave them a few comments, but it was pretty stellar by the time I ever heard it, which was great. That's something that I want to try and get to where we're doing more of, is getting student-led, student-organized ensembles where they're using the tools that I've given them through the other pieces we work on and kind of displaying it on their own. It lets me see what they really know rather than seeing what they can do after I tell them what to do. In just a second, we'll get going with the Doomsday Machine song. I'll show you. solos. Another thing that we're going to be doing the rest of the semester is working on our UIL music. We have free UIL on Thursday morning. You should have gotten an email and a handout about times and things for that. So that's Thursday morning. We'll be playing for a panel of judges. We have UIL on in April then, spring trip, all those things. In addition to that, for the percussionists, another thing for all the 8th through 11th graders is we'll start spring drumline shortly after spring break. What the spring drumline is it's an opportunity for the kids to get used to the drums that they're going to be playing in the fall, or playing together as a pit for the front ensemble, with all the marimbas, vibes, xylophones, and so on. So we start working that in the spring. We'll learn a lot of exercises. We'll learn our dates that we'll march into the stadium with this year. And we will learn just a piece of music, not anything from the marching show in the fall, but just a regular drumline piece of music. So kids playing, drumlines playing, and we will perform that. Generally, we perform at the end of the percussion concert, but since we moved the concert from May to March, we weren't able to do that this year. So we're going to play, Ms. P has given us permission to play kind of the intermission of the Color Guard Spring Show, which is May 7th, 9th? It is May 7th is the Color Guard Spring Show. Alright, so we'll be playing at that, so I hope you'll all come out and check out the new drumline for next year. In addition to that, the summer drumline camp, hopefully all the parents of anybody in 8th or 11th grade already has the dates on their calendar. The dates, we set them after the camp last year, but they've been on the board. We've talked about almost weekly since mid-September is when I put them on the board. The dates for that are June 18th to the 22nd. It's really important that everybody's there the whole time. It really pulls away when we have people that are absent. So it's really, really important. That's why I set the dates up so early. So we plan on having everybody here. At that camp, I pull in really top-notch teachers again. Generally, I have a guy named Doug Bush here in the past, who's a phenomenal bass drummer. He's worked with the guys. I have Jimmy LeBrecq, who was the 2000 National Collegiate Snare Drum Champion. He comes and works with the snare line. Frank Bentley, who marched Phantom Regiment from me for 4 or 5 years. He works with the quads. Zach Shear, who some of these guys have had lessons with Zach. He's going to work with the pit this year. So we have a really great group of educators. I go around that whole week with a notepad, and I just take notes, and I learn from those guys. That's why I bring them in, the best of the best on their particular instrument. So it's really, really important that everybody's here. I can't reiterate that enough. And again, that's June 18th to the 22nd. Camp runs from 9 to 5. Try and keep the cost absolutely minimal. It's traditionally been between $75 and $100. We're hoping to be more towards the $75 range. But again, that's June 18th to the 22nd. Raffle tickets. All these guys should have raffle tickets, except for Red Band, because I forgot to hand those out to Red Band today. But everybody else should have raffle tickets. That's a fundraiser for the band boosters. If you want to buy raffle tickets, any band student, percussionist, or wind player, tickets are $2 a piece. If you end up with a lucky ticket that gets drawn, you get to go to any Jim and Matt dealership and pick out a car at $25,000 or less. And they take care of the tax, title, and license also. So that's a pretty sweet deal. $2 per ticket. You can get those from any band student. Banquet tickets, I think, are being sold tonight for high school students for the band banquet at the end of the year. Do a DVD pre-orders every week. High school, region band. We haven't talked about region band with these guys yet. So let's go ahead and hit that one now. We had 9 of the top 12 spots in the region band this year, which is quite an accomplishment. That's the best we've ever done. And in that, we had 4 of the 5 area spots. So let's give these guys a hand for that. Go ahead and raise your hand, guys, if you were in the region band. Cool. Keep your hand up if you were at area. You were one of the 4 areas. Yeah. One thing that I like to say about the 4 area students, we have a senior, a junior, a sophomore, and a freshman. So we've got really strong players. All these guys are really great players. I'm really blessed to be able to work with such great kids every day. Yeah, they've done really well in the past. I look forward to big things in the future for them, too. Next piece we're going to play, this is vociferation. This is a piece we played maybe 6 or 7 years ago, 5 years ago, something, 4 years. Okay, it says 4 years. She remembers better. Okay, Shanna says 4 too. Awesome. They have better memories than I do. Anyways, I love this piece. I really like it. There's a lot of really great teaching things in this with lining up rhythms, kind of like what Layers was earlier. There's a pretty ballad section in the middle so we can work on lyrical playing. There's just a lot of different things that go into this piece that I think are really good from an educational standpoint. That's why I pulled this one out again. So this is Vociferation by Jack Stain. we have one more piece for you tonight. This piece is called Rumble Strips. I heard a recording of this back in December, and I knew the kids would love it. You play along with a track on this one, which is something that's new, except for the sixth graders have done it before. This is something new for the high school to do. The track has a lot of electronic, dubstep, techno sort of sounds on it, so the kids really like it and really get into this. It's Rumble Strips by Daniel Montoya Jr. But before we get to that, I want to do two things. First off, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. It really means a lot to me to see so many of you here. I know it means a lot to the kids that you guys are here. It's nice seeing alumni and other music educators from other schools coming out and checking it out. I really, really appreciate that. So thank you very much for coming out. And then one other big thank you that I want to do is I'd like to have the four seniors come over. Yes. Come with me. All right, I just want to say thank you to these guys publicly for everything you guys have done. This is 7 years, and I don't guess you got anything here, but whew, all right. That wasn't in the script. Anyway, these guys have been great role models for the other students. They've been great leaders, and they've accomplished so much in all these years. I really appreciate everything you guys have done. Thank you for sticking with it to the end. Okay?